million, and I think we spent about 500, not 500, 5 million, which is about $1,700 per acre. But most of that work so far has been a lot of planning. 2 of the 4 project areas have not been implemented, so it's been kind of top heavy for planning. So getting the trees marked, et cetera. So that's kind of a report out that you wanted to know. So
You're how much an acre?
1,700, yeah.
1,700 an acre.
Yeah, which most of it's not even, 2 of those project areas have not even been touched. So it's, kind of mostly, we'll say, before we get the chainsaws out and heavy equipment. So that cost should go down as we progress. Next thing we were working on, we have another project with NFF, very similar to our contract I just talked about. And most of that work will be worked around the Portola area today, this year. And they're targeting about 3,900 acres around Portola. And that's very similar to the work we're doing with green removal of saw timber and service work. You'll see some work that people are going to Lake Davis. You'll see that work being completed through the fall. Has lots of report outs today. So as of this week, we actually have crews right now doing some reforestation in the Prado Valley area, 192 acres and about 20,000 trees. And so our partner, Lassen Fire Safe Council, had been doing that work. And then we had to make a quick pivot because we're seeing this window come and go, and due to some capacity internally, we couldn't get that to an agreement. So we had some leftover money and we figured out a way to get that done this year. So next thing is most recently we've had some hiring success. The agency has allowed us to hire some seasonal positions in recreation, range, and timber. And one thing I want to talk about was that our silviculture, salt and forest are working on a 5-year program of work for reforestation. And that's something I'm pretty excited about. Let's see here. I do want to give people a heads up. The weekend of June 27th, we're going to host an event at Frenchman Lake. The nation's 250th anniversary. So we're going to do some an event with some kite flying for families that weekend. And our point of contact is James Burdine. He works out of my office. That's one last thing. Jason mentioned the event tomorrow in Susanville. We have planning having a crew there, mentioned there tomorrow. So thank you. Any questions? I kind of went through those pretty quickly.
Just one quick question. So
Yeah.
the 60 million board feet, the green board feet, that's going to be per year starting this year?
Yep. Oh. Yeah, those projects we started a couple of years ago when our former forest supervisor, Chris Carlton, was here. That's when we started doing larger scale projects, and it looks more solid the next couple of years. We got to start planning for FY29, FY30 for other projects that can kind of hit our target. So that's what I'm working on, that 5-year program work.
Well, you had a question?
Yeah, where's that green timber going to go to? Do you have any idea? I know you don't.
Yeah, I would say most likely probably SPI, but that'd probably be like 70% yes right now. That's where it has been going, but some of it's been going to Loyalton. The biomass that's chipped has been going to Honey Lake, but it's hard to say from what the
Operator.
Yeah,
Okay.
most likely right now. We've had the cedar be going down to Oroville. I think that's the only place that will take cedar in the probably 250-mile range. So that's where cedar's been going. So
What's your how many vacant allotments you got? Building them?
21.
You gonna fill them?
So that's one thing we're working on. There's been a lot of range changes. I would say it's still going to change quite a bit this year.
What's going to change?
How we administer them, and also how we maybe release them. Like say, we've had a pretty solid process in the past, where this is the criteria, this is the steps we're gonna go through. That's kind of changed a little bit. And we've identified two vacant allotments near Frenchman that are the most likely because they're the lowest hanging fruit. And so we've been working on those for the last couple of years. We have some not neighbor, but adjacent landowner conflicts. We're trying to where we're at with those two.
Is NEPA done on them?
Keep it done. Yep.
Get them out there. Utilize it. I mean, it's gonna knock down your fire. I mean, the grazing, it's one step more stuff off the fuel ladder.
That's a good concept.
Anyway,
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just, it's half the problem. If you gotta get rid of the fuel oil. Grass is one. of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And then going to your $1,700 an acre on your planning. I mean, that's the value of the land.
Yeah, I would say
And so you're 1,700, and so then you're gonna do the timber sale or something on top of that. So you figure the costs are gonna go down.
correct.
What are those costs gonna be? What's gonna be your net loss or net gain?
So a lot of times when we do let's say, forest thinning project where there's no commercial lumber, that's usually about $600, $800 an acre. That's rough, but those costs might go up with current fuel prices, but that's kind of what we're targeting for what is the industry norm. But I would think with, fuel prices right now, we're probably pushing more like 1,200, 1,400 an acre. But, like you said, that's
Probably
probably,
gonna be 1,700 plus 1,200. You can be $3,000 an acre.
no, it'd be less.
You're going backwards.
Yeah, we're going, yeah, so like, what I was trying to convey is that the work that's being done is currently kind of higher, but they've also done like more of the planning, so there's been no work done on the ground. And so as that gets done, the price per acre will go down. And that's, I think that's pretty fair, given the conditions that those stands are in. They're pretty overstocked. And I mean, what we're finding is, I think our silviculturists tell us that we get about 4,000. Look at, get one messed up here. I'm not going to be even cited, actually. But anyway, we're seeing more volume, more biomass per acre in these stands we're working on. And they were just treated like maybe 20, 30, 40 years ago. And so that's actually helping our timber target, but also when they go and want to do the service work before they get the timber, it's actually creating more work for them. So a little bit more costly for the work to be done.
The low stuff. But anyway, so when you're all said and done, how many trees are you gonna have per acre? What's gonna be your canopy cover?
So right now, the NEPA says it should be between 60 and 100 basal area, which is like if within like 15, 20 feet, 3 or 4 trees.
What diameter?
Anything above 14 inches is considered a tree, we count. So we try to go for those smaller ones first and then leave the bigger ones there. So it's about 3 or 4 trees per, or I would probably say my grandma could probably throw a rock, That makes sense. You can kind of visualize that a little bit.
Underhand or overhand? She has a bad shoulder.
She does have bad shoulder, underhand.
All right, and then the regional office is gonna be in Salt Lake City.
No, that's the Washington office. So Placerville will be where the state office will be moving from Vallejo.
So it's still gonna be Regional 5 or no? Or
Be
just-
California.
Just California?
Yeah.
It's gonna be in Placerville.
Yep.
And what's back of it gonna be then? The training center for what?
That has not been determined for me. I just heard it was gonna be a training center. I think it's gonna be I'm pretty sure, it's me going from memory now, but we have a fire center right now and a fire training center in McAllen, and that's gonna be moved from there to Vallejo. McAllen will be closed, or we won't have that lease anymore.
Real quick, all these trees being thinned out, it's gonna be more grasses. We need those allotments.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No,
I have, just speaking really, transparent, on my district, I have the most big allotments. It's been kind of
good.
irking me over the last.
Keeps you busy.
It does, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Michael?
Mike, on those dates that you're celebrating, what dates were those?
June 27th,
All right,
shall be a Snelligaster day use area.
What time?
Undetermined, probably mid-morning to the afternoon.
And it'll be advertised.
It will be.
Could you send us an email on that so we could broadcast that?
Yeah, I'm hoping we can get something out earlier on our
Thank you.
Facebook, and so it's really well.
You send it to our clerk, she's awesome.
Yeah. It's not Father's Day weekend. Which I know previous weekend is Father's Day weekend. Just know because I've been looking at the calendar for myself personally, but it's not Father's Day weekend, it's the weekend after Father's Day. So it's like the Father's Day weekend is the 20th this year.
Great.
and then, so how about, are you gonna have vendors at all of your campgrounds? To have them open?
Yeah, we have a concessionaire that it's in their, I want to say their second or third,
Second, I believe.
the second year. Anyway, it's Royal Oak Park Management, and they'll be doing the same thing they did last year. That's probably one thing I probably should report out. So the moisture came in different forms this year. Of course, as we all know, it came in more liquid form. And so we've had a lot of down trees, and so folks started getting out in the forest. We've had a lot of down trees all around Lake Davis. We've had crews working in the last probably couple weeks. Access around the lake is really good before the snow. I don't know how much snow is around Lake Davis right now, but we've had a lot of down trees where our fire crews have been working really hard to get those facilities open and on time. It's been a lot of down trees this year. I say a lot. It's been like the last 6-7 weeks. Crews have been doing that kind of work.
Okay, and you're going through all of your road systems and getting the down trees.
Not all of our road systems, probably at least our primary routes right now, where we're really looking at fires, especially early season where we're seeing some of those fires kind of get to 1 acre, 2 acre. We're looking at major roads. So, and I had members of the public call the office and say, hey, you guys know these roads are dead or closed, get down trees, and we get crews on them within the week. So.
And how are you guys handling when Sierra Pacific locks the public out of the Forest Service right of ways?
We have-
Land.
We've had any issues with that, actually. We've had no complaints from the public from our standpoint. They're just complaints in my way.
All right, and how would you handle it if they did that?
Well, I think it really depends on the scenario of what kind of road it is. So a lot of times if we look at a map, is it a Forest Service road? Then they can't close it. If it's a private road going to their land, it's different. It's treated differently. So it has a little bit of nuance. So I know in the last couple of years in the fall, that's been a big issue I've heard locally from hunters, not in our forest, but other forests. I've heard that complaint.
So and then we're going, or we've invited Pamela from the Washington DC office to come and visit. I guess she's came several times out, and so we've been in contact with Rick Hobson, and so on those, if and when she makes it here, I mean, I would like to, hopefully you would come.
When you say Pamela, what's her last name? I'm not talking. Sorry, we can talk offline too if you want to.
Okay. I'll give you a call.
Great, because
Or Sam, do you have that name off the top of your head? No.
well,
Well, I'll get with you.
Pamela's not. Maybe it's not Brooke Fallsworth, right? And not the Secretary of Agriculture. That's Pamela.
Yeah.
Let's talk offline. But appreciate the opportunity to come here. It's always great to come. Mr. Bridges, do you have a question or comment?
No, I'm just happy you came and good report and always look forward to it. So thank you, Mike.
Yeah, hopefully it's not too dry. Try to make it a little bit, no.
Okay, any other questions?
Is the dock in and the gate open at the campgrounds to launch?
The the dock is not out at Lunker, but it's actually in the water because the water's so hot. That makes
Right,
sense.
right, no, but it's
So
not-
the gate's open.
Well, no, I'm talking about the campground. Bunker is,
The campground's not open. That's we keep that concessionaire has kind of access to that right now. That's something I'm trying to work on. Another pet project of mine to,
you get it, I'll call you.
because with the weather, we were having such nice weather the last couple of years, spring, where we get some complaints like, hey, why aren't the docks out? And it gets a little muddy with the concessionaire operating those facilities and then kind of going back and forth from the floor service. And so we have some community members in the area that are really interested in maybe doing something more, having more. I can speak from personal experience. Getting in a boat early in the season is easier when you have older folks. So that's the perspective I'm trying to convey. So it's a lot easier to get an older person or maybe someone who's not maybe able-bodied in a boat, safe, and yeah, have fun. So
Okay, that's it. So thank you, Mike.
thank you. Appreciate everybody.
Okay, we're gonna move on to, F1, Honey Lake Valley Resources Conservation District. We've got one vacancy on the,
That's me. Do you want me to present?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can you step forward and state your name?
Thank you.
Yeah, what's your name, young lady?
I'm Michelle Duraga, Deputy Clerk of the Board. This item is just standard. It's an appointment to the Honey Lake Valley Resource Conservation District. There is one vacancy right now with the term to expire of November 27th of 2026, so it's a short term. There were two applicants, however, David Lyle did withdraw his application, so the only applicant right now is Caleb Griffin. We do have members from Honey Lake Valley RCD present in the audience if you'd like to speak with them.
Anybody you'd like to?
Caleb here?
I don't see Caleb.
No, Caleb's not here.
You would do.
No, David Lyle
Wow.
withdrew.
Okay, yeah.
I'd like to hear from the RCD board. I'd like to hear from the RCD board.
Yeah, we'd like to hear from the board.
Oh,
State your name, please.
Robin Hanson.
All right, Robin, how are you today?
Good.
Good.
So, Caleb, do you feel he's gonna be a good fit for your organization?
We do. He's been attending our meetings for almost 6 months, just as the public. And then he was looking to put in an application as an associate director because there was not an opening. And so then when this position became open, we were really excited because he's already been attending and knows what's going on. And I think that shows dedication to come to our meetings when he's not a board member. So it can be pretty long sometimes.
Any other questions?
Didn't he used to work for you guys?
No, he works for NRCS. Yeah, he works
That's
for
what-
NRCS. Yeah. Similar.
Well, you guys were here, so I just want to make sure we made an appointment that's gonna not be compatible with what you guys want. So if you guys are happy, that makes me happy.
Absolutely. And then I also just want to point out that Wayne Langston's stepping down and he's been on there, I think, over 15 years and was an amazing resource for us. And we're really sorry. So it's going to be big boots to fill.
Yeah.
So Caleb's gonna replace Wayne.
Yes.
That is a big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Don't need to buy an extra big pair.
He's pretty tall, so he's probably got pretty.
Okay.
Any
Any other
other
questions? Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Anyone else from your board want to say anything?
It's just me. Kelsey's our district manager.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, I'm just an employee.
okay,
Just you.
I'm a
Yeah.
support employee.
okay. So do I put that to a vote, Michelle, or?
Yeah, you need to.
I
Need a motion, yeah.
We appoint Caleb Griffith to the Honey Lake Valley RCD board.
Okay, I have a first by Alba, a second by Ingram. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you.
Thank you.
All yours.
Okay. We're on to G.
Turn the light to full G1, 4 and 8.
And I grabbed the floor. I want to add 6 to that.
You said 4 and 8. Okay.
Well, I move to pass it out.
Okay, I have a motion, pass the balance,
Second.
and I have a second. Those in favor? Opposed? So moved.
Gary, did you get 6 on it too?
Yes, I did.
Thanks.
Okay. One, wildlife management work.
Hi, good morning, Board. Gary Fensler, Agricultural Commissioner, Cedar Wheat and Acres, Lassen County. Sitting for you today is the USDA APHIS contract for George Alfonso. And it's roughly $93,312.31. The question I had on this, Gary, was, I got to looking at his estimated, cost for services, and he only has $500 down for travel. And that just makes me a little bit question that, because I think it should be more than that. I mean, I'm just looking at last year, he spent half the summer over there in Sierra Valley, and no fault of his own, but he is the, in my opinion, he's the expert on those skills and evidence gathering and et cetera. And with the way this whole thing was going, I think he's gonna be in demand for his services. And so well, trust me, I mean, I'm not one for spending money, but I think this budget might be a little soft. Well, as far as the travel goes, to be able to make his rounds and share his evidence and expertise with other counties as this thing evolves and goes forward. Is that covered in here?
I believe so, Aaron. The whole contract's down about $8,000 from last year.
I thought it seemed.
Yeah, it was about 101 and change last year. I asked him, George comes to office, and I asked him, are you sure this is correct? He was, his almost verbatim was, is that I make enough money off the county already. I don't think I need to ask for any more. And I had concerns about that. Especially, a dollar, fuel costs could be what, $6 of one down here for soon. So, but yeah, I had some serious doubts. I myself about 93,000, but he said he was comfortable with this. And so I agreed with him. So whatever you guys think. Well, I'm a little concerned myself.
Can he come back and amend, I'll pass it on to Sam or Maury or something. Just come back to be amended or if he goes over.
Sam and Maury like a good deal.
I know. I do too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he needs to amend the contract.
That's only about 3 tanks of gas.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, they have a new, Sarah Plumas have their own trapper now. So hopefully he'll be spending less time over there and be able to spend more time in our county where he's getting paid to spend more time. So.
He's really doing the phenomenal job. I mean,
Well, I imagine he'll still be, I imagine he'll still be spending a lot of time over in Sierra County as it is. Basically, since that trapper is gonna be new, I don't know his name or much about him, but as far as I'm concerned, probably George is probably the expert.
He'll be learning from the best.
Pardon?
He'll be learning from the best.
Yes, he will. That's what I'm saying. But I imagine George will be making quite a few trips over there just to help this guy out.
Yeah.
So, but it'll be nice now to have him back. Like you said, a large part of our money was spent for him going over to Cherville. So it'll be nice to get him back. So, and there's a lot of things for him to tend to. Wolves is not his deal. He's does skunks and you name it. So whenever he's gone, he's not providing a service to our constituents. So nice to have him back home.
It will be. Well, okay, that was my concern, but if he can come back and amend that, make sure you pass on and you can amend it.
Okay, I will do it. Great.
So did we get any reimbursement from Sierra County or Plymouth County when he for his services?
I think the conversation was that, this is before I became the ag commissioner. And I think some of the reasoning was on that, a lot of that along the lines is that there's a lot of Lassen County ranchers that run cattle up in that Sierraville area and around that area. So that's kind of was the reasoning. I don't know if it's good reasoning or not, but that's the way it was thought that, he's actually still providing a service to Lassen County because Lassen County ranchers are running cattle up in that area. So, that's what I was picking up from what Craig was talking about all the time. So, but no, the answer back to you is no, I don't believe there was any reimbursement.
I know, but if we're providing that service for another county, I mean, I feel, I don't care whose cattle it is.
Yep.
We're providing a service for another county.
I agree.
And we should be getting reimbursed.
Yep.
Or they can have a $93,000 contract with Trapper.
Yeah, well, I know, I 100% agree with you, because like I said, the time he spent over there was time that was taken away from where he should have been, so. And, so, yeah, I agree with you 100%. Now, how we approach that is not,
That's a different story.
yeah, that's gonna be, I'll leave that up to the powers to be, but I agree. But, that's something's happened in the past, and however you guys want to go along with that, I'll definitely follow along with you. I'll definitely be in agreement.
So does this contract come from you or George?
It came
Did
from
you
George.
make this contract?
This contract came from Wildlife Services, more than likely, probably Derek Millsap's George supervisor. I think George and Derek sit down every year and they're the ones that take a look at this contract and decide how they want to set it up. So no, they just provide it to me. What happens, they provide me, I take it to the board to have you discuss it and to approve it or not. And then once it's signed, I will send it back to them. So I'm pretty much, even though he works out of our office, I'm pretty much just the middleman on this. So
It's because Jeff Flores, he's the state director,
yeah,
which is the ultimate boss of APHIS. And this is kind of a cost share, so the feds put in some money in.
yeah, if you look on, I think the third or fourth page, it breaks down to the cost operator and shows exactly what we kick in and what they kick in.
Yeah. And so it's kind of a cost share kind of thing.
Seems like we're kicking the majority of the cost though.
Last year we did. Last year I bet you it was, I say I wasn't quite the ag commissioner when all the heavy stuff was going on, but I was around all the time. And I bet you throughout the summer, I don't know, as Shirley gets, maybe 60% of his time, maybe even more than that.
A good 60.
Yeah, I would say, but if he didn't do it, then where would we be at right now?
So right now, most of what he's doing, I assume, is like investigative, as opposed to actually traffic animals. So he's looking at a wolf that got a cow or something like that, and trying to figure that out. Or
Okay, well, what happens with him, but it's most important, he is the one that can confirm whether or not if it's a wolf kill or not. And that starts the ball rolling. He can go in, I think you can saw a video of it. He'll go in, he'll skin the animal out, look. He can decide if it's been, if the animal was killed by a wolf or, some cases, if the animal sat too long, then other animals start eating on it. It can be called like probable. And then there's sometimes if it's completely gone, he can think, it's probably a wolf, but he can't determine that because of the carcass is being in such poor shape.
as a trapper, I know that you can't do a whole lot with the wolves right now, but what about wild dogs?
I was going to mention to you, that was an issue that's come up in the past. I would like to say that came up last year too. Probably the same pack of dogs. And I believe he went out and talked to them. So, but I can't, once again, I wasn't the ag commissioner then, so I can't really relay to you what the conversations were because I wasn't privy to them. But I do know there was an issue because I took the phone call. I passed it on to Craig and passed it on. So George and him had the conversation. I believe one of the bitches that, I don't know. I guess it's probably the same pack of dogs. It sounds like.
It's an ongoing problem. I just got a call from.
Yeah, was it down by the Dodge Ranch?
Pardon?
Was it down by that Dodge Ranch in that area?
Out in Ravendale?
Yeah.
I'm not sure the exact location.
Okay, this wasn't too awfully far from Dodge Ranch because I think there's some in that area or the ones that I guess apparently even took on a bull. I think it was last year. So they actually, I think it's a young bull. So they're very, yeah, they're a vicious group.
But to circle back, as Gary said, George is busy with every critter in the world,
Right.
from lions to skunks. He's a very active person.
We're lucky to have him.
Yep.
We really are.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that coming back because we have, because we weren't even thinking about the cats anymore. Well, these cats are just as destructive as anything else. So, yeah, and nobody thinking of those, so. So, but like I say, whatever you guys would like me to do, I believe, I agree with you. He was spent way too much time over in those counties, so. But
Well, they needed his expertise and, I'm all about, collaboration with the counties, but, if he's so over, a little bit, I mean, they have to know that there's an expense behind his services, and he's a state, but, he's a lot sharper than the
by far,
the wardens and everything, I mean, he's a great all over the state asset because he's just an expert in that field.
by far, I agree with you. I mean, unfortunately, California Fish and Wildlife won't take advice from him, but they ought to.
Yeah.
Well, I'd just like to ask you to kind of keep an eye on, just so we know, so if we ask you how much time percentage that he spent, because it's gonna change from year to year, going to other counties. We just kind of like to know that.
Well,
And
I
then
think
if
that
it reaches a certain level, we could do something about it.
I think that may be simple enough because I believe he only travels over there for wolf kills,
Yeah, right.
so I think if there's a wolf kill or it goes over them, so that, I think that'd be fairly easy.
It's probably documented and
Yeah.
everything, so.
He
Yeah, 'cause
comes into our office all the time. This is where he does all his wolf reports and stuff. And he doesn't have service or something in his house, so he comes in our office all the time.
Because last year he almost had his own address over there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He spent a ton of time over there.
Mike, go ahead.
Oh, my question is actually for Maureen. Oh, why is it on the consent calendar? I mean, it's almost $100,000, 93.
Yeah, it's oversight. I apologize.
Pardon me?
Oversight. I apologize.
Okay.
So it's not normal.
Hmm?
So it's not normal.
I would move that we approve the work and financial plans for wildlife damage management services for fiscal year 26-27, authorize the CAO to execute. these.
Okay, I have a motion
I'll second.
and I have a second by Scanlon. Those in favor? Opposed? Thank you.
Okay, just to summarize, I'll talk to George and have him report to me whenever he travels out of the county.
Thank you.
And you want me to talk to him about the dogs at all? Okay, so I'll speak to George about the dogs. Is there anything else the board would like to have me do at this time?
Well, in all fairness, an individual can shoot those wild dogs with no consequence.
I've already given him that counsel, but he's had some difficulty because he shoots one or shoots that one, they all scatter in the brush, you can't get them, and
Sure,
Yeah.
I know, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
they can kill them, they can go after the dog owners if they know who they belong to, get compensation.
or we can get back up from the traffic, and maybe more about it will be taken care of.
But
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we went to number 4. Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning, how are you today?
Good. Danielle Sanchez, Assistant Director for Health and Social Services.
Danielle, how are you today?
Good.
Well, just to get us caught up to speed on our audits within the department, is that it?
Yes, so we had an audit in Community Social Services. We had an audit finding. In order to close that finding, we established this contract.
Okay, for 23, 24, and 25, you get those done and caught up.
For $10,000.
How'd you get so cheap?
We already currently contract with this vendor for our outside audit, and so this is just in addition to. It's just 2,000 per year with 4,000 for extra unanticipated costs.
And so it's just for the one department, that's it.
Correct.
Okay. All right, that answers my question. Thank you.
Any other questions? Mike?
Danielle,
Yes.
hey, on your, agreement here, it's from July 1st, 2025 through June. Here,
Correct.
so, did you have to extend this contract is why it was back in July? Or we just hadn't got to this contract, until now?
I don't think we've gotten into the contract until now. Our contracts coordinator was a little bit behind, and so we're playing catch up on some of our contracts.
Thanks, Mike. You got a question?
Yeah, on page 6 of the contract, it's got a, I don't know, a clause or something there that says, contractor services cannot be relied upon to disclose all errors, fraud, non-compliance, and so on. That seems kind of like, I would want to know if there's errors or fraud or non-compliance. Top of the page on page 6 of the contract.
Attachment C.
It's additional provisions.
Yeah, attachment C.
That's been reviewed by council.
So that's a fairly standard clause in these type of audit agreements, and it essentially says that they will do their best to catch everything, but they can't guarantee that they will catch everything because they're a human. So there are some potentialities where they may not
Miss something.
they miss something, and so it is a catch-all clause in these type of audit agreements, and it's basically an acknowledgement that these are humans doing.
You could have said something like, we'll do our best, but.
It's a fancy way of saying we'll do it.
Okay. Thank you, that's all I have.
Just to circle back, I just got a message. We've been negotiating this contract for months between different vendors and council. So that's why it goes back. We've been working on this one for a couple of months. That's why we always take it back to July 1, just in case there were any costs incurred, we're able to cover it.
Costs incurred for this, contractor?
Correct. So it looks like we've been going back, right?
How can they go back and bill us? Or if they're not under contract?
I don't know. It just says we've been negotiating it for months.
Okay. All right.
That's my
Well,
Is it just a cover for the fiscal year? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, we usually do contracts beginning to end of a single fiscal year.
right.
Good.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement with Clifton Larson Allen, LLP, aka CLA, and authorize the accounting CAO or designate execute the agreement.
Okay, I have a first and then I have a second by Alba. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Mr. Scanlon, you're up on G6.
Yeah.
Sorry, did you call G8?
No,
G6.
G6.
Danielle, are you sure?
Yeah, G6.
Becca? Sorry, didn't hear that. Hello.
How you been?
I was looking at this and it's $90,907 for 23 units.
Right.
Which if you do the math, breaks it down to about not quite $4,000 a unit.
Right.
For continuing your professional education and so forth. $4,000, $3,952.50 per unit seems pretty steep to me. And I got online and just Googled similar training. And the average was $100 to $200 a unit. And then even Harvard is $860 for a graduate unit for the same type of course. Why are we paying so much for this?
So UC Davis has specialty when it comes to Department of Social Services trainings. And when we pay for a unit of training, sometimes courses that we bring here can be half a unit or 1 unit. And we're training our entire staff. It's not a per person. We can have the entire staff go to that one course for that one set price of whatever the unit cost is. There are some of the courses that, it's just for a single individual, some of our management courses, and those trainings are invaluable. Because UC Davis is already within California, it goes over all of the specific California regulations we have to stay in the world of community social services. I did one of their trainings a couple of years ago with a management development program. It lasted 6 months. It had individual coaching included with it. It had peer reviews where surveys were sent out to all of your coworkers and supervisors, and they kind of told your coach where they felt you could work on, and then they tailor your coaching to meet your needs on how you need to improve within your job. UC Davis focuses a lot in our Lassen Works trainings when it comes to eligibility services, food stamps, and all of those, and how to complete those audits and be successful. So I don't know why the cost is so high, but we've been contracting with them since I started with the county 11 years ago and prior to that as well. And these trainings are invaluable. They also provide additional credits for those education credits for those that need them.
Give or take, how many employees will partake of this?
So Lassen Works, I believe, has roughly 30 staff just within that division. And we can also do trainings for other staff within health and social services and have them take part depending on what the scope of the training is.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
So that 30 employees are divided into that 90,000.
So community social service as a whole has over 100 employees out of our 160 within health and social services. So depending on what the training is geared towards, which department and what the scope is of the training, we could have 30, we could have 50, we could have 75 in a training.
We'll bring it, when you include multiple employees like that, say 30, then you bring the average cost down to about $200 a unit, which is in the.
Yeah, it's reasonable.
Absolutely, so.
I just saw $4,000 a unit and got,
Yeah.
Thank you.
One more question I got is, okay, for the thing, for your terms, we're approving it for July 1st, 2026 through 2027.
Yes.
So we have to approve this contract this early to do this.
Sometimes we want to schedule those trainings as soon as possible once the fiscal year starts, depending on what new mandates may or may not come down. And so this allows us to start it while we are working towards the budget process.
I imagine that fits it, you can really schedule everything that fits into your schedule so much tighter and.
Correct, because as we're training Lassen Works staff, that means there's downtime to the public. So the more that we can schedule those trainings, stagger them to meet everybody's needs and remain open to the public is the most important part.
I want to thank you for that. That right there saves the county a lot of money. Karen?
So I know you've been going through UC Davis on a lot of this stuff for years, but under the UCC regions, there's also UC Berkeley. Do they offer the same thing at a different price? I mean, or you just?
I don't know.
Probably something you might want to look at. So I know that there's different universities out there that might have lower prices, just have the same stuff.
I'll let Jason
Or
know.
even better. I don't know. Stop around, get stuck in one rut. I do that too often.
We can evaluate it.
Perfect.
Okay, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement with the University of California, Davis and authorize the CIO or designate to execute the agreement.
We have a motion and I have a second by Neely. Those in favor?
All right.
Opposed? So moved. Okay, item 8.
Morning, Silas, the Lassen Emergency Services Chief.
Morning, Silas. How are you?
Good, you?
I was just questioning this here because this is just for fuels reduction and wildfire mitigation. That's the use of this excavator.
Mhm.
What about like, the reason I bring this up, what about like rehab or
Yeah.
regeneration, that type of stuff? I mean,
Yeah, great.
Can you use it for that too?
Sure. Those were specifically not included in this MOU, and if they choose or would want to entertain using that county's piece of equipment, we can enter into a rental agreement and they can pay market rate to utilize it. The purpose of the excavator, you guys remember you approved it through a grant purchase. And the grant's pretty specific for what it can be used for. And so this MOU is simply to establish how we're going to take care of it when it's in their possession versus our possession and the uses that are allowed. And anything outside of that, they're more than welcome to rent it and pay the county for it.
So they can use it for other.
Absolutely. Yep. And that's included in here on a case by case basis and it'd be a separate agreement.
That's what I thought it was. I just wanted to-
That one thing I just noticed, my apologies, I've been working on this since last year, obviously. The very first paragraph there has list 2025 as a year. So we need to change that to 2026 prior to dates.
Silas, I corrected the actual MOU, so
Thank
it will reflect 2026. You're welcome.
Thanks, Silas. I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Mr. Scanlon, you have a question?
My question is kind of picky-ish, but under the, subsection C, the maintenance, routine maintenance and repairs, it talks about, somebody messes it up and it's through negligence, the responsible party to go. Who determines if it was negligence?
And the mutual agreement. I mean, it's going to be pretty obvious if someone rolled it down a hill, they were operating outside the capacity of the machine, and that would be negligence. Broken glass, all of that. And they've always been good partners, and I don't foresee there being any issues with it not being returned in the condition they've received it in.
So, thank you.
No, it's good. I'm glad that we're seeing that, gonna be good, with good use and.
Well, it should actually, this week will be the first week where it actually starts doing some mastication work.
Are you running it?
I'm not planning on running it, no.
You should cut out the first man's and meet us.
Yeah, better let someone else try first.
I just want to give you another handful of kudos. You don't like them, but you really worked hard on this and now it's here. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
And we can always come to you on like around different homes of trees and stuff or use.
Yeah, I mean, private work on private property gets complicated outside of some sort of large scale agreement because it's kind of like that gifts of the state, gifts of the government. Why does one property owner get it, not the other? So we'd have to look at that as a case by case basis, but they do, it does happen regularly, where a large landscape project, they have, landowner agreements for each one of the properties it's going to touch, but generally just going to someone's house and doing work would probably not be allowable, but I would have to defer that to county council.
So one other question, Silas, is this estimated in the state strictly in Lassen County, or is it gonna be good throughout the?
Well, the way we wrote it is to allow for that anywhere within the Lassen MODOC unit. So Plumas County, Lassen County, and MODOC County, because as we're well aware, for example, Plumas County, we can do good work in Plumas County that would directly impact Lassen County. And so we have that option available, and those will just, projects will be evaluated and determine what's most beneficial. But yeah, that is the plan.
You're working with fire safety council on.
Yeah, where it's starting right now, I forget, I think they're calling it the Susanville North project. It's, from like, A1 all the way into Susan Ranch Park. It's a fairly large project. And, where this machine is going to start working is on some baby owned property, but it's going to tie in with the larger project the fire safety council is doing.
All right.
Yeah, make a motion.
Move to approve the MOU and authorize the Lassen County Office of Emergency Services Chief to execute the MOU.
Okay, I have a motion and I have a second by Scanlon. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Silas, I'm gonna need you to sign the MOUs before you leave after board meeting or come by the office
Yeah.
today, however.
So real quick, Michelle, with the motion we made, that covers this thing that Silas was talking about, 25 to 26 for.
Yes, I corrected that. I caught it yesterday. So the MOU that Gary's gonna sign will say 2026.
Pretty sure.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll go to G11.
11 wasn't pulled, Gary.
Pardon?
8 was the last one.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, Sheriff's Department, H1.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, fellow board members, Mike Connie, Captain of the Sheriff's Office. This agenda item is for the purchase of some mountaintop equipment, by way of our communications grant. A little history on our communications grant is, it's a federal, congressional grant that it's a 4-year term, and it originated from the late Congressman Lamalfa's office. And, it's joint with Plymouth County to improve our radio infrastructure. This is our second round of spending in the grant. The first round of spending, we were able to outfit our entire patrol staff with new handheld radios as well as vehicle repeaters for their vehicles. And it's really improved communications with dispatch. That first round was around $250,000. The total grant is a $1.4 million grant over 4 years that we're splitting with Plymouth County. So this is our second round. We're in contract with Sierra Electronics to replace 3 microwave links as well as 2 repeaters. The microwave links are one up on Blacks Mountain, from Blacks Mountain to Schaefer Mountain, and then from Schaefer Mountain to the annex, and then also from Blacks Mountain to the sheriff's office. The repeater sites that we're replacing is the Blacks Mountain repeater, as well as we're creating a new site up on Observation Mountain to improve our communications up in the northeastern part of the county. So that's BLM is going to let us use their vault and put some equipment in there. And so this, we're wrapping up the grant ends in 2026, and we'll roughly, after this, if you guys approve this purchase, we'll roughly have about $200,000 left. The last link to the grant that's planned is to link Plymouth County Dispatch with Lassen Dispatch in case one of them experiences a catastrophic failure. We'll be able to operate for each other. I'm not 100% sure that Plymouth will be ready for that. They've been working really hard. They're the guy that was running their grant retired, and they have a new sheriff, a lot of changes, and so all this kind of fell in the new sheriff's lap. And been in constant contact with him, and he's been working really hard to get equipment coming, and they're working with Sierra Electronics as well. So we're close. If we can't, we're gonna try for an extension of the grant to get a 1-year extension to be able to do that last thing. But I'm going to meet with Plymouth County within the next 2 or 3 weeks, as well as some of our radio techs and Sierra Electronics, to see if we can't move our portion of that linkage for dispatch going. But in the meantime, with this purchase for the mountaintop equipment, according to Sierra Electronics, they're going to do all the installation work and all that stuff, and they're guessing it'll probably be mid to late summer before they're able to get to it. So,
Mr. Elmo.
Yeah, a couple questions. How come we're the primary on this if Lewis is getting more money than we are?
that's a great question. Because Sheriff Grouden was a workhorse. He wanted to take it by the horns just to ensure that it got through and got done. And so that's why we're the main on this, and Plymouth is the subrecipient.
And then what happens on if you don't, that 200,000 is left, if Plymouth doesn't get their job done? Are we going to be on the hook for to reimburse the money?
No. So if Plymouth, well, so the last portion of our grant to get our dispatch center up and going is we budgeted $130,000 for that, and we'll have roughly 200,000. We did that to have a little buffer for change orders and changes in equipment and stuff like that. If we're able to get that done, we have money left over, I'll do a grant modification to, I'll meet with some of our radio techs and see what other needs are. More than likely it'll be for another repeater on another mountaintop, just so we spend that money. But we wouldn't be on the hook for reimbursing anybody. If there's money left over, it just goes unspent. They take it back.
Any other question?
Yeah, for the, you have, for Blacks Mountain, and then it's gonna go to the sheriff's office, Blacks Mountain to Schaefer. In observation, are you gonna be able to microwave that to like another, to the Schaefer mountaintop, and just so that you're
So the
different coverage? I mean, that's what I'm assuming, that these different, the microwave will be able to go from Blacks Mountain to the sheriff's office, Blacks Mountain to Schaefer. Observation. I mean, are you gonna be able to beam it to Schaefer?
I see what you're saying. Yeah, so that's a great, it's gonna be, we're building that's a brand new communication site that we're building from the ground up. So it'll have everything in there, microwave links, repeaters, and all that. So everything should be able to communicate with one another. Great question.
Anyone else?
So which observation bill was that?
I'm sorry.
When you have to get one at observation, what, can you just reach the Schaefer Mountain or Blacks Mountain, or, I mean, how's it gonna get back?
So we have base stations. Schaefer is a base station and Hamilton is a base station and Silas. But anyways, there's, I want to say after this project is complete, that Blacks Mountain base station. So all the Peter basically communicate to the base station to dispatch, if that makes any sense. So for example, when we're anywhere in the county, it usually shoots right to Schaefer. That's our primary base station. And then it goes down. So if I'm on Widow, it's going to go to Schaefer to the sheriff's office. And then if Schaefer for whatever goes down, Hamilton is our backup right now to where we go from Hamilton to the sheriff's office, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I just wonder if you have redundancy, I guess, was the word I was looking for.
Redundancy. Yeah. Well, the more base stations, the better, in my opinion. You know, that way, in case one fails, then you could just flip that switch and go to another one. So. Yeah, it's been a long 4 years with this grant. This has not been an easy one. So we've had a lot of hiccups along the road, but we're getting progress. So I'm happy.
Well, I just remember when they didn't have radio communications with York County.
Yeah.
You know, it came a long ways.
Yes,
And when I think of that, it's safety.
absolutely.
Safety for our officers out there. And that's, to me, that's one of the most important things we can have. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the equipment and labor listed in the quote attached from Sierra Electronics in the amount of $126,646.41.
I have a motion
Okay.
and I have a second by Alba. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you're up again.
Yes.
Can we, yeah, 5-minute break?
Sure.
Thank you, Mike.
No, one's not ready.
He looks ready. He was born ready.
Okay, we're
Okay,
live.
we're back live. So, go ahead, Mr. Carney.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, fellow board members, Mike Carney again, Captain of the Sheriff's Office. This agenda item is for the approval of the execution of the lease agreement with the Linco Bearcat. You guys probably remember about a month or so ago, I was in board approved the purchase for the Linco Bearcat. We were going over the lease agreement with Mr. Platt, and he caught in there that there's a clause that the board has to give the sheriff authorization to sign the lease agreement, and that wasn't in the original proposal, so we're just back here for that purpose.
Okay.
And unless Mr. Platt wants to expand a little bit.
No, Captain Carney caught it. It was basically the prior presentation of the board was a little bit more general. This is a little bit more specific, that the board is authorizing the sheriff to execute the agreement, partly because the lease requires it, but also the lease also requires, as part of the agreement, a opinion letter from me basically stating that all procurement procedures have been followed to the T and that there's no problems with it. And so this is just to belt and suspenders and make sure that we are in compliance, and I can issue that opinion letter and we can go about getting our.
Perfect.
I have to bring it up just real quick. This, one of these units was in the news last week, hard and heavy.
It definitely was. Yeah. I'm
It
glad you
saved
brought
a
that up.
lot of lives.
Yes.
Five
yes.
of them.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was beyond impressed. I have to tell you that, because I know you personally done a lot of work on this. Thank you.
You're
Because it saves one life. I mean, how do you put a value
Yes,
on an officer?
And that instance in Southern California last week was a perfect example of why
Oh,
these
my
vehicles are
God.
so important. They could, if, I don't know if everybody's familiar with that, but it was a detective was doing an eviction. He got shot and killed, and it turned into a SWAT standoff, and multiple county sheriff's offices involved. And they had one of their SWAT teams responded with a Bearcat vehicle, and the suspect that had killed the deputy was laying in wait, camouflaged out, and the Bearcat with the SWAT team moved in, and they started taking rounds. The rounds were hitting the windshield, the driver's side, and I mean, if it wasn't ballistically protected, it would have been more fatalities. And then, rather than withdraw and engage the suspect in a firefight, they chose to run the suspect over, which was a spot on decision. It was a great decision, and they didn't expose themselves, and they ended the combat. So.
Well, I personally really liked the sheriff's interview.
I did too.
I mean, he was,
Great job.
that was a great interview. If you guys haven't seen it, you need to look it up because it's worth your time.
Yes.
So, anyway, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to authorize the sheriff to sign the lease agreement with Municipal Asset Management Incorporated.
Need a second. And I have a second by, Mr. Ingram. Those in favor?
Aye.
Good job.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, Mr. Platt.
Okay, number 3. Good morning, how are you?
Members of the board, Bill Pyre, fair manager. Before you, I have a application for your approval, consideration of approval for a volunteer application, volunteer waiver, and volunteer policy for the Lassen County Fairgrounds. As you know, historically, the fair has used a lot of volunteers, and I don't think that that's going to change anytime in the near future. We haven't had a volunteer policy and application waiver specific to the fairgrounds, and I just bring this to you. I'm looking for your input and approval.
Go ahead, Mike.
Bill, will this apply to the current fair board as well?
I'm
They're
going to
volunteers, right?
defer to Andrew on that. I wouldn't think that it would because they're an appointed position, but I'd like him to weigh in on that.
I believe that they probably ought to
They should, okay.
fill out the applications and.
Then yes, it will.
Perfect.
Okay.
That resolves some other issues.
Yeah, anyone else? Eric?
So, reading over this and everything, boy, there's a lot of verbiage in it.
Don't know.
Yeah.
You can put more in.
No. But I mean, it's quite the application. I mean, I don't know, I just seemed that,
So you're saying we got our money's worth?
what, is it this one or is it the next one? Oh, he's being confusing. Is it the next one that has all the stuff on it? I guess this one isn't too bad.
Okay.
It was-
The application is one page. My intent there was to collect enough information that we can track the volunteers and,
Yeah, this one here is bad, I guess it's the next.
okay.
And so are you gonna keep track of the hours on the days and all that? Is that gonna be you're gonna have to do that, Bill? I mean, that's gonna take.
Well,
time.
The availability is for our office use. If we have a project that we are working on and, we see that a volunteer is available on a Wednesday afternoon, we can contact them that way and not bother them if they're not available on those days. CFSA, for our workman's comp insurance, which is our next item. They require us to fill out a report annually on the number of volunteer hours that we have. And that's something that has been done in the past and through CFSA, we will continue to do. So this part on the application isn't for tracking the number of hours actually served, but it's for tracking what their availability is so we can, again, not bother people when they're not available.
Okay, got it.
So actually, that will save time. For sure.
That's the intention.
Well, and if you're keeping track of the volunteers' hours, you know, I mean, that would be beneficial because the county can actually see, you know, how much time is being donated and that they would have to top up some money in order to get those projects done. And a lot of people need their eyes opened on that.
Okay,
So on this here, Bill, it talks about volunteer position supervisor will provide general orientation to Lassen County Fair and training. Is that gonna be you?
Yes, that'll either be me, or it would be, now that we have our other two mid-management positions there at the fair. If it was a person working with just grounds maintenance, that would be something that would be done by Alex. Or if it's, office staff, it'd be Tammy. And of course, I don't have a problem doing orientation with anybody in general.
What liability is that gonna create by having all that stuff there? I mean, but we're putting all this stuff in here and yet we're putting more on you and as far as the liability, but not more at risk sometimes by almost admitting it. I mean, I don't know. The volunteers are gonna,
Well, the intent is not to increase liability, it's to decrease liability.
Right, and by providing them guidance and instruction on how they're to perform their volunteer activity, that would be beneficial to limiting that. So we don't have volunteers going out and doing hazardous things or things outside the scope of what we want them to do on our property.
they can't say I didn't know.
Exactly.
and do they have to resign if they don't want to be volunteer anymore? Do they just quit or what?
Yeah, it says you gotta resign. Let's find another tree.
The board members obviously have to resign. I don't have a provision in here for resignation, but, the volunteers, if they don't show up, they're done.
We could put more verbiage in there if you'd like.
Please don't.
Thanks, Marty.
Is that a motion then?
More baby shut.
I'll make a motion to approve the volunteer application.
Okay. Supervisor Scanlon made a motion. So here a second,
I'll second.
and I have a second by Supervisor Alba. Those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
No,
Okay, number H3.
How about H4?
Four, I'm sorry.
Again, Bill Pryor, Fair Manager. This is a follow-up essentially to the last item. This is a resolution specifically acknowledging volunteers at the Lassen County Fair as employees for the purposes of workman's compensation.
Does this conflict with H3?
It does not. And so, and to be clear, this is strictly for the purposes of workers' compensation. Volunteers are still volunteers, but for the purposes of workers' compensation coverage and protection for the county, they would be considered employees that way. If a volunteer comes onto the fairground property and injures themselves while doing their volunteer service, they would be under our workers' compensation policy, and instead, thereby, limiting liability in case they decide to try to sue outside of workers' comp. So it is a protection. Government code permits the county to do this. And actually, back in, I believe, in 1993, the county has previously issued a resolution applying this exception or workers' compensation designation for volunteers for county volunteers in general. However, in working with Bill, it's been determined that the fair has its own separate workers' comp policy from the general county's policy, and this is kind of a belt and suspenders approach to make sure that it's abundantly clear a fair volunteer is covered by our fair workers' compensation policy.
And it says here there's no fiscal impacts. Does that mean that our current policy covers all this?
As my understanding is, it will once we have a resolution in place. Now, I've not dealt directly with the insurer, but that's my understanding.
And in the past, the volunteer hours have been reported to our workman's compensation carrier. So essentially, we've already been paying for it. This is just a clarification of that.
Does the fairground have the same workers' comp insurance as the rest of the county? Is it all like one policy?
It is not, and that's why we were doing the separate policy or resolutions, because the county's work comp through Chandel and fairs is through the
CFSA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
I think this is a good one.
Not too many words.
No, it's more simple.
Andrew did this one.
Yeah, there was something, there was a bunch of, anyway, we'll come to it, but anyway. I move to approve the volunteer application policy. The resolution recognizes volunteer workers as employees for the purpose of workers' compensation that serves coverage through the California Fair Services Authority. Move to approve the resolution.
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Bill.
Again.
Five.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing good.
Same smile as yesterday evening.
Exactly. Tiffany Armstrong, Behavioral Health. So the first item I'm bringing today is the Behavioral Health First Amendment to the agreement between Lassen County and Casa Serenity. So a few months ago, I brought the Casa Serenity contract to you guys for approval. This is our boarding care facility. Unfortunately, when we sent it off, we kind of sent it off a little too soon. We attached the wrong boilerplate contract to it. So we're asking for us to approve the updated version of the boilerplate. So that's what's here today, is just the approval of the newest boilerplate that we have to attach to all of our contracts. And that would be attachment G.
So we passed this once before without attachment G, is that?
No, we attached it with attachment G. It was just the wrong, we have to update them every year. And we attached the wrong version the year prior. We have to attach the new one going forward.
This one is unfunded mandate things.
Unfortunately, yes.
Seems like we have quite a few of these.
Do you get reimbursed for those?
No. Not for attaching for boilerplates, unfortunately not. Just,
Have you tried getting, reimbursed for, state mandates?
we try, but it's not always guaranteed.
Well, anyway, I want to encourage you, like, because last meeting we had that, one deal I was going to complain about, and then they talked about the unfunded mandate being touched in the sector, so.
I'm glad RCRC is working on it for us.
But they gotta have a county bring it forward.
Oh, well, you want me to bring it forward?
Yes.
Okay. Write it down.
On the list. We're watching these right
There you
now.
go.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Got a call.
Yeah.
Anyway, because we need to start.
Are you gonna give it to her?
Huh?
Or are you just gonna keep it?
Yeah.
Oh, let's pass it down.
Here. You got to share that with Andrew and Maury.
Dave, I was gonna say, somebody needs to take a picture of this.
Yeah.
Department, take advantage of it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't know you were gonna get a present today, did you?
A present from Aaron?
Always good. Treasures.
Any other questions?
Tiffany, the only question that I had again is, we're approving a contract that, from June 1st, 2026 through June, I mean, it's several months early.
Correct. The reason we did that this year is, remember last year I was coming after July 1st and all the contractors got very upset because they weren't getting paid. So we're trying to get them ahead of the curve. So these are folks that we've been partnering with for, probably 10 or plus more years. And we currently have clients at these facilities that we're not moving or transferring anytime soon. So they're just ongoing contracts that we have with the establishment. They just got upset because last year we couldn't pay them on a timely manner because they had to go through the whole contract process. So we're just trying to get everything all lined up ahead of time so that it's already in motion for July 1st.
This is just good business policy.
So whatever we're paying them now is what they're gonna get paid, and then the contract's gonna end, but you all already have something in place.
Because it'll end June of 2027.
Well, but the contract here is, starting June 1st, 2026, which in a couple of months.
Correct. It'll start in June of 2026 and it'll end of June 30th of 2027.
But we already have a contract
That's what you're saying
from
for
June.
July 1st until June 30th. Yeah.
Okay, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the First Amendment to the agreement with Casa Serenity LLC and authorize the county CAO of destiny to execute the agreement.
We have a first. I need a second. Second. And I have a second by Alphonse. Those in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Okay, number 6.
So this is a contract with Alameda County. They do our after hours crisis calls. So anytime it's on the weekends, after hours, so we work 40 hours a week, 8 to 5. Anything after those hours, we have Alameda pick up those calls. We just met with them in the last month. They've had a 40% increase in the amount of crisis calls just Lassen County. So they've increased their rates a lot. Part of it we think is because of 988. All those calls from 988 that get dispatched out of Sacramento get transferred over to Alameda. I guess because of all the advertising they've done in the last year, a lot more people are accessing 988, which then of course increases our amount of folks coming in through our Alameda crisis line. 988 is the national crisis line number. It's kind of like when we have 911 for an emergency, like if you hurt yourself. Well, if you're having emotional distress, there's the 988 line that you can call. If you're having just an emotional crisis, maybe you're having suicidal thoughts, you can call that number. And it's a national hotline, so it's across all 50 states.
It might be from the ranchers with all the cattle they're losing.
Could be, could be.
Could be.
Yeah.
State mandates.
But there's been a lot of commercials, a lot of advertising in the last year. So a lot more awareness is out there. Instead of having those folks being dispatched over or calling 911, which could tie up people who are having heart attacks or whatnot, they're asking them to call the 988 national hotline.
which they are, which then obviously they are just triaging the call and then they'll get routed through Alameda, which is the ones that are actually taking our calls after hours, weekends, and of course on holidays.
Well, how do they know where the 988 call originates from?
It's pinged off your cell phone. So
You call from a landline.
most folks don't, but yeah, most of it's being pinged off our cell towers. So if you're in the area, then they'll ping it and then they'll know that your phone is calling from that 530 jurisdiction.
Somebody could be driving through and they live in Alameda, but then they're make a phone call somewhere near Lassen County.
So the way it works is if I call, they'll say, where are you from? And then I'll say, I'm from Susanville. And they'll say, okay. And then they'll dispatch it over to Alameda to actually provides the crisis services. But it originally goes through this 988 national line. Now you can call us locally too. We have a local number that you can call us. And those phone calls also get transferred over to the Alameda crisis line, weekends, holidays, and evenings.
Is that even during business hours?
No, not
I
during
didn't think
business
so,
hours.
but
Business hours, all the lines come through us
Okay.
because we have the manpower to actually triage those calls. So we'll get calls from 988, we'll get calls from 911, we'll get calls from all over. But we have the staffing to like take those calls. It's just the weekends, evenings, and holidays.
Okay, any other questions for this young lady? I need a motion.
That's all. I moved to approve the agreement with Crisis Support Services, Alameda County, authorize the CEO and designate to execute the agreement.
Okay, I have a motion by, Caldwell,
Second.
and a second by Neely. Those in favor? Aye, opposed, so moved. Number 7.
So the next one here is our contract that we have with RestPad. This one's RestPad Corporation. So this one is our facility that treats not only adults, but also children from 13 to 17. We have to increase the amount again, because obviously we're gonna have more folks that are going into psychiatric help or hospitals that we need to be able to provide services for them. So when I spoke about the last contract with Alameda, that 40% increase, that means there's more likelihood that those folks that are calling in need to be seen in a psychiatric hospital.
Drug induced or are they just actual mental?
I say mostly when we're coming in are co-occurring. They have both sides of the house, mental health and drug and alcohol issues. Yeah, it's hard.
Psychiatric issues because of the drug and alcohol.
Could be, or they're coping from their drug and alcohol. It's kind of a 50-50 in terms of how they're dealing with their drug addiction versus their psychiatric issues. Hard to say, but a lot of them do have both. And that was one of the reasons why in January, if you remember me coming through, talking about the 5150 changes, that we can actually place people now on holds for just strictly drug addictions, if they meet the criteria for grave disability. So again, more people are coming through, more people need to be hospitalized, and that's why we're here to increase the contract with our RestPad, which is one of our closest psychiatric hospitals to Lassen County.
Any other questions? I need a motion.
First Amendment to the agreement with RestPad and authorize the CEO and designate to execute the agreement.
I have a first by Supervisor Caldwell.
I'll second.
And I have a second by Supervisor Scanlon. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Okay, so the next one here is RestPad, and this one is incorporated. This one is actually just for adults that we're providing for. And again, this is another one that we're asking for an increase in their amendment in terms of ongoing services for this particular psychiatric facility.
Same basic contract, just of age group.
Totally different. Yeah, one's for youth and one's for adults. Now, the one for youth can, if they need to, on a emergency basis, take adults. That's why they're kind of open for both sides of the licensing part. But this one is strictly only for adults. And it's kind of the same spiel I just talked about. We've had an increase in the amount of people being hospitalized over the last year. Yeah, we were hoping this trend, you know, levels itself out. We haven't seen it. We've just seen it. In terms of the amount of people needing to get it. But we don't know if it's still, I mean, I can't say 100% it's due to the advertising for 988, putting more information out in the community that these facilities are available to them. I just don't know.
It could be all the above.
Could be,
So
absolutely.
you never know.
Right.
Any questions? I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the First Amendment to the agreement with ResPad Health Corporation and authorize the county administrative officer or designated to execute the agreement.
Okay, first by Supervisor Scanlon,
I'll second.
and I have a second by Supervisor Ingram. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So moved.
Alrighty, the last one here is our agreement with Lassen County and Cell House. Cell House is similar to like our other facility called Casa Serenity. It's basically a board and care facility that we have for individuals. We have currently 3 at this particular facility, 3 adults, and we're gonna probably keep them there until whenever. So this will be a continuation of that contract for the next year.
What do you mean until whenever?
Because a lot of them have been there for about 15, 20 years. We don't anticipate them actually getting better to come back into our community. If they ever do change and they do, you know, obviously get better, we can then bring them back here in our community and then have them live independently. But as of right now, since I've been almost with the county for 28 years, they've been there as long as I've been
Wow.
working for the county.
That's a lot of expense.
Really long term.
Very long term. It's one of the things that I wish we had a facility like these in our own community, but we'll get there eventually at some point.
Somebody'd be paying either way, so.
Any other questions? I need a motion.
I move to approve the Cell House Incorporated authorizes DAO or designated to execute the agreement.
Thank you. And I have a second by those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you guys, I appreciate it.
Okay, number 10.
So this is a request to increase the Lassen County Health and Social Services Administration budget by an additional FTE to incorporate the addition of a personnel assistant. Any questions?
I've got a couple of them. Anyway, so who's this gonna be under?
So
It's gonna be,
now that we have an HSS director, Jason Vial, HSS administration has Jason, myself as the assistant director and personnel coordinator, Hannah Singletary, who's our contracts coordinator, and this person would also be included in that budget. They would work up at the administration building with me to help with the personnel duties. Currently, HSS has 160 allocated positions, and I do the personnel for all of those positions, including recruitment. When we get certified lists, I am the one that calls and schedules each interview. I prepare the interview packets and send them off to the respective departments, and that includes payroll action forms for all of those staff. It includes step increases, hiring, releases, corrections in the Tyler system that require PAS to be completed.
No wonder you're busy.
so this will just be under one department, it won't be countywide, or it will be countywide?
This would be specific to health and social services.
That said, the whole purpose of this exercise of having personnel in HSS and personnel for the rest is that there's overlap and people know what the others know, and so that we can assist each other when we need to. But Jim, that's a true statement, but it's one county, so we want the depth to be all over, not just in one side or the other.
For instance, Regina will be out on vacation for between 3 and 4 weeks. I've now learned the majority of her duties, still learning. So before she leaves at the end of the month, I will be able to step in and fill in for her in her absence. This person would learn the same duties that Belinda and Jen know under Regina, so that in their absence, this person could also assist. We're one big group up there now.
Yeah, we want to be interchangeable.
I like it.
Okay, that makes good sense.
We need to get everybody the institutional knowledge of everybody before everybody leaves. This is a great proactive step.
It'll be very beneficial.
You've been working on this for a while, Terry, and
And-
thank you.
And with this, person, they're going to be able to, help more with Tyler to get that program up and running.
Yes, once they get hired and trained.
And how many hours, are they going to be devoted to Tyler?
I think they could take on the smaller tasks so that Regina and myself could devote a lot more time to Tyler. I'm already learning how to do approvals in Tyler. We've still been working on corrections to the position control. I think we've got one department left, needs modification. But the other ones are caught up. We'll be coming back with our
And then
Tyler
it'll be
update.
ready to go. It'll be up and running.
I can't say that at this point, but we said we'd
Closer.
come back.
Closer.
We are getting closer. We said we would come back at the beginning of June with an update on where we are at. We're not there yet. We've still got time.
I wholeheartedly endorsed this when it was brought to me because everybody's been working super hard and it's especially Danielle. She is just putting in the time and she needs help and we need to give it to her.
I agree.
She was there on Saturday, working for free. We need to get her.
That's not uncommon.
Yes, and I
And not
noticed
for
that with
free,
other
though.
employees every
She's not working
Saturday.
for free though, I might add. So.
Mr. Alba, you have a question?
Yeah, under your job description.
Mhm.
On the third one, it says, may sit as a panel member for oral examinations. Is this a dentist office or what the heck is this?
Oh,
On which,
I'm thinking, too.
Under the job description?
Yeah,
which section of the job description?
I don't know.
Oh, let's
I
do
think that means participating.
oral examination. So, interviews.
You can change it to interviews.
So to change that, you want us to change one word and bring that back to board.
I think of a dentist, of an oral examination.
Well, it might have its origin in all that state mumbo jumbo
Yes.
that they have to.
HR does provide oral examinations for some of their classifications. So I believe the terminology is interchangeable with the state. Please don't go there.
So I
I
don't.
know I said
recommend you-
state, but please.
You monkey around with that because it might injure us and
But it injures my brain having to think about it.
I'll take you to lunch.
I'll bring
Where's
some,
Tiffany at? I need to call that.
I'll bring some pliers if you feel like a dentist, I'll pull it too.
My big.
That was your soapbox moment for today.
No,
Oh, kind of.
We got a few more items left.
yeah, I had to go see that. We got, here we go. More pages to get.
Actually, he's out of the woods after this item. Actually, she don't care about stuff.
I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to fund one full-time personal assistant, 1, 2, and 3 position with Health and Social Services Administration and fund budget unit number 110-071.
Is that without the? oral
Minus-
examination?
I'll
With the
second
oral
it.
examination.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So
I have
moved.
to say no because. of oral exam.
Are you saying no?
Yes,
Thank you.
You're on record.
it's not a dentist, I'm sorry. It passed your mind.
Okay, number 11. We haven't had you in for a while.
Galen Norwood, Planning and Building Services Department. Good morning. The Planning and Building Services Department is requesting a modification to the job description for the Director of the Planning Division to change the title to Chief Planner. The requested action is to approve the modification to the job description and or provide direction to staff. So this title is just confusing. It's to Director of the Planning Division, which is one of the divisions of the Department of Planning and Building Services. but it is confused with the director of the department. And this is just for clarification of that it's in charge of the planning division of the department. And we believe this will help in recruitment. Right now, the position is vacant. And I believe this will make recruitment easier.
So is this your title?
No, this is,
Right there, that explains it. That's the problem, is everybody's confused.
no, it's the third in line in the department. It's the manager of the planning division of the department. It was Matt May's old position before he became deputy director of the department.
So what the hell is your title then?
Director of the planning and building services department.
See, the word director got put in there some years back, and I'm not sure why, but regardless, that when we go to recruit for it, it looks like we're recruiting for the director of the department. And then they look at the corresponding wage and they're like, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. And so that we think that that's one of the reasons that Galen isn't having very much success. And it was traditionally called the chief planner. And in fact, I prefer that. Yeah, it just sounds better. That was one of my favorite titles because I like being called chief.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out why he wanted to change his title.
Yeah, no.
No, it's not my
him.
title.
No, you.
It's someone in my department that's under my department.
But your confusion is perfect because it just illustrates like the problem that we're having. People call up and like, wait a minute, what?
See, I have a very simple mind.
No, you have. I won't
That's your confusion is exactly why we want to change it.
Any other questions for Galen?
Yeah, I got some questions for you, Galen.
Yeah.
So, in here, you have a bachelor's degree for this. So why would you want somebody with a bachelor's degree in this position?
Well, because it takes, there's a lot of knowledge involved in planning and just someone that understands planning and has the training in it.
Yeah, because then it's, and their degree is in planning, right?
Degree in planning, correct, that would be
I
preferred.
think it says or similar field or something.
Or related field.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, I just hope that you would, stick to, a bachelor's degree in planning. And so that, we get qualified people in that position.
Yeah.
Because they could have a bachelor's, degree in, wedding planning. And, I would hope that we wouldn't be hiring people
No, it
for
should
that
be-
position and with that degree.
Correct, it should be rural planning or a related field.
We've had success with people with geography degrees, natural science like land use science and that kind of thing. So we don't want to be too specific because there's a lot of degrees that come out at Humboldt, Cal Poly, like Galen and I, that aren't planning per se, but they're very similar in a lot of the same coursework. Like my degree is planning and interpretation of land use, and so it's not. There's a lot of people that have other planning degrees like planning, transportation, but like I say, geography is a common one that people have a lot of understanding of all the different sciences that go into land use. But it doesn't necessarily have to be planning. But I don't think we've ever hired a wedding planner, but I might have.
Well, I just, because we have that problem in another department and,
Yeah, no.
and
I absolutely.
and I just, think that the county's been getting ripped off
Yeah.
by people not having any kind of experience.
I hear you.
We've been hiring, bachelors in cake decorating planning. And, so I want to make sure that we, that we don't, take this, job description and and hire people that aren't qualified.
This is
For
the
the
same job
department.
description we've had. The only change is the name to the title. But yeah, it has to be in regional or community planning or related field.
Totally hear you. Totally agree.
I agree with Supervisor Needham's concern. We need to not keep with.
That have no business in field. You know? And so how long has this position been not filled?
I don't know exactly, about 6 months, I believe, around there.
And how many applicants didn't apply because they didn't know what the position
Oh, that
was?
I don't know.
How could you?
You couldn't know.
All right.
Any other questions?
I got one for Danielle. I mean, as a recruitment, would this help, the name change, you think you feel it would help? I mean, I don't know, I'm just, you do a lot of the recruitment stuff. I mean, how much do the titles impact recruitment? do you think?
I think significantly when you're looking at the wage versus the title.
Mm-hmm. Because you're looking at director of the planning division, you're thinking that's a pretty low number. As far as what you're.
To me, that sounds like a department head.
Yeah, it sounds like a department head. What is this, a 32 position, Keelan?
Yeah. Correct.
What are other counties paying chief?
I think most counties have a chief planner or a manager of the planning division. A position to that effect. The titles can be different, but most counties will have this position.
And what are their wages? Do you know?
I do not know. I don't have that in front of me.
And so with this name change, how quick's the turnaround to get it reflowing again?
I think we go as quick as we can coordinate with personnel. It's been approved by the Management and Professionals Association. There was no comment from them. So once if it's approved by the Board of Supervisors today, then we'll work with personnel to change the title. We're currently recruiting for the position. So we would change the title on that.
So it should be pretty quick.
So it should be pretty
Yeah,
quick.
it should be. Any other questions?
I'll make a motion to approve the modification to the job description and provide, or, yeah, that's it.
Okay, I have a motion.
Second.
And a second by Alba. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Okay, number 12. County Administrative Office.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, you have before you, Management and Professional Association, MPA side letter, the Director of Public Works. This represents, Matt May stepping in as the, interim director and, paying accordingly. And so, we have conferred with mid-management and they didn't have a comment. There was some back and forth, but in the end, we arrived at the right range and this is that.
Okay, any questions? So, go ahead.
Well, if 5% is the normal, why are we bumping this up?
We believe that this is much different than the average working out of class. This is stepping into a role that has all the key players in management absent. It's a real challenge, and it's taking not only Matt's time, my time, and Sam's time, but there are still many challenges ahead, and I just am saying that this is similar to when the sheriff, there was Mike Harney had to step up and act in the sheriff capacity. It's not your typical going to do, you know, some extra duties. This is taking on a huge task, and I think that he should be rewarded accordingly.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah. So, what are we doing to move forward with, getting a public works director?
We're recruiting actively right now.
And so have you got any applications?
Not to my knowledge. It hasn't been very long though.
And where are you,
Hold up just a second.
The recruitment goes live tomorrow.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was last week.
We send it off the week prior, but the recruitment goes live tomorrow for an initial 2 week period, closing on the 30th.
Thank you.
And where's live at?
Intermountain News is our, paper of choice. And then also, I believe, Regina is finalizing a actual, pamphlet document for, distribution.
We have a list that we were lucky enough to receive from a different county of, I don't know, more than a half dozen different outlets that we had not used before, that they were successful in recruiting for the same position. So we're trying to get outside the box and try to look at different groups that might have potential candidates. But we're working on it.
And what are the job qualifications for the director of public works in those counties?
I believe in Sierra County, it was a PE is desired but not required.
That's correct. Sierra County, which is the county that provided the list of additional options for job placement advertising. They do not require a PE. They have a director of transportation, which is very similar to Lassen's role. Just requires that they have some knowledge and experience of transportation and public works. They do not require a civil engineering degree. The gambit kind of runs across, in terms of requirements, depending on which county. So I mean, there's some that require a PE, some that don't.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that the position needs to be a PE position. These guys are going out and building our roads and our bridges and without that knowledge, we're doing a disservice to the county.
And just be clear that the county does have a county engineer separate that does review those projects.
Yeah, so that.
Well, but Andrew, you weren't here when we degraded this position where it didn't have to have a PE. They did have to have a PE before. So, and I think that's, some of our problem in this department that we don't have the PE positions, because so for us not to require that is foolish.
Point taken and understood. I just wanted to be clear that the county does have a licensed engineer.
I know exactly what the county has, and the county does have one engineer and on it, and not we don't know how long that person is going to be here, and we need the engineer positions. That whole department used to have 6 engineers in it 20 years ago, and the county has slowly didn't think they needed that. But I don't feel safe, with us not having that quality of professionalism with a PE position. We need it, and I would say 95% of the counties all over the state has engineers in those departments, and they have it for a reason.
Yeah, well, I would agree that 100% of the counties have engineers in their public works department. Not all of them require a PE in their directors, though.
So I would only say that first of all, there's a statewide shortage of public works directors, and this has been a topic in many of my associations for months now. And I would agree that it would be best to have a public works director that's a PE. That said, my recommendation to the group, and this isn't the agenda item per se, but
Yes, they were way off track.
yeah, is that we do the recruitment and see what kind of results we have. And we are currently doing an RFP so we will have an engineer for the county no matter what. And I'm working with the current one and a retired annuitant to keep us covered during this period. But I think given the shortage of applicants that's been noted statewide, that we are better off doing the recruitment as a job description is described now and see what we get. And we can always up the ante and make it a requirement.
We're not in this boat alone.
No.
And it's statewide. And to think we're the only ones with this issue is foolish. So I thank you for what you're doing, and I would like to see a PE in there also, but we're doing the best we can do right now, and let's continue to keep doing our best. Go ahead, Aaron.
You know, I'm not diminishing Matt's and yours and Sam's workload that's been added on to it. It's a huge endeavor. My concern is if we do this 15%, you open a Pandora's box, and the next guy, he's gonna come along, well, so-and-so got 15%, when he can't write my job, just as important as his, and et cetera. And so I don't know, I'm just skeptical that this might open Pandora's box and we're setting a new standard. And I don't know, I'm just a little bit concerned about that. Like I said, I'm not diminishing the task that Matt has in front of him, but it's a huge one, it's a big one. Because it's not only the roads, it's the parks, it's all the buildings, it's the dump. I mean, there's a lot going on. And I don't want to diminish that. And I think 5% is too low, but I'm just, can you put some qualifying verbiage in there that this is the one-time exception because of this situation? And I mean, I don't know. I just don't want to see this come back to bite us.
I think it just did.
Yeah.
And I'm perfectly comfortable discerning when it is and isn't necessary. And I think you just put it on the record. And this is one of those things, as I just said earlier, there's so many factors going into this, and there are so many show-stopping potentials in this world that need addressing, that I think this situation rises to that level.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I mean, we put a heavy workload on Sam on taking on different projects. We've given her 5%. We didn't give her 15% because she took on some huge projects. And now for us to do this, and for someone that I don't feel is qualified for the job, you know, I mean, that, I think we're, you know, like Aaron said, we're just setting ourselves up.
Well, I think Supervisor Neely brought up some interesting points. I don't agree that Matt's not qualified. I think he's great talent, and the last thing we want to do is run him off. But giving Sam to run the fair, 5%, definitely not fair. Sam's our deputy CAO. She's our budget analysis. These are stuff that needs to be addressed. We've already eliminated that position, so we can circle back to that. But if we're going to take care of our people like we're taking care of Matt, which we should, we need to get back to taking care of Sam and everybody else that has went way out of class. I mean, running the fair, that's quite an endeavor.
I can't speak to how you guys came to the decision of giving her 5%. I can only speak to the situations that are in front of me.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Why the board decided to give the sheriff that wage in the interim versus 5%. Those were decisions that were made by this body, and I can't speak to them.
I mean, but we just need to keep that in mind, because I think we are opening a Pandora's box, and it's not fair to take care of one side of talent and not take care of the rest. I just think it's an interesting thing to think about.
Part of the job description as a deputy CAO is to go in and fill in these situations like Sam did with the fair and Tony did. And with HSS and et cetera. That's part of their job description.
I know, but it wasn't Sam's job when she was the budget analyst. You know,
Right, she was the budget analyst.
She was the budget
Before she was
analyst.
deputy
wasn't-
CAO,
she
then she
wasn't
was
in
asked to
her
run the
position.
fair.
Let's calm
So that
down.
Five
Calm down.
percent.
Calm down.
I am calm.
Anyway, Mike has the floor.
Two questions. First is, how, I agree with your reasoning, but how many steps up is Matt gone from his normal position to be the department head? So like 2 levels or?
13.8% change in wage.
Pardon?
Get up. Jennifer Bowen, budget analyst, deputy CAO, topic of conversation at the moment. When I did the analysis between the current rate of pay to what he was doing, it was a 3.8, or it was 13.8%. But due to the fact that there are no upper management in there, we rounded to 15.
Are you saying that like the public works director is normally, he's getting paid?
If he was to take, yes, we're trying to make it comparable. That's what the board had done in the past with Mike Carney, Captain Mike Carney, when he became sheriff. We tried to make it comparable for him to be able to be paid the same amount as if he was to take that job for the short time.
Yeah.
So he got a 15% raise at that point because the jump in pay was so high. So this one was the 13.8, and because there was no, Mike, Captain Carney, didn't have it as bad per se as Matt because he came in and he still had lieutenants and captains underneath him. Whereas in this particular situation, we lost a staff member, so we lost a second in command, we lost a third in command, and we also are missing technically like a third, fourth in command on the solid waste side. So it is a replacement of a lot of management in this particular.
Mess. Thank you, Sam.
And I know this we're jumping around on the agenda item a little bit. Any consideration to splitting up that job, public works director taking roads and something else and.
Well, in the paradigm right now, there is a position that would be overseeing solid waste. But that's just not filled.
And do we have the money for this?
Yeah, we got huge vacancies.
I mean, it sounds great to give people the raises that they deserve or commensurate, but do we actually have the money to?
Well, as Mr. Ingram just pointed out, in the absence of, 5 people in the management level, I think we can cover it, the 13%.
Yeah, we're missing quite a bit there.
A lot. Okay, any other questions? Do you have any more comments, Tom?
No, I think it's ridiculous.
Anyone over there, Aaron?
No, but just getting back into my computer.
You're looking for a motion? Yeah, I'll make a motion to ratify the side letter and authorize the chairman to execute.
I'll second that.
The weird motion.
I have a motion and a second. Do you have another comment, Aaron?
He was one the hammer.
Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No,
So moved. Okay,
Your next item, Mr. Chairman, is appointment of a negotiator for real property purchase. This is with regard to the property at 205 Russell Avenue, which is commonly referred to as the Susanville Armory. The state of California has reached out to me and would like to know if the county is interested in acquiring that property, specifically Barbara Field, who's with the Department of General Services, real estate officer. And so before I can really do anything and know the specifics, I need authorization to act on the board's behalf. I will say that I did go and look at the building, and I'm currently in the process of trying to figure out how to get rid of a lot of properties that we have. So I'm very cautious, as you might imagine, to acquire more property. But in this particular case, it is sort of within the perimeter of the fairgrounds. It makes a lot of sense. The building is actually looks to be, without doing an in-depth analysis, in pretty good shape. And so I would like at least the authority to move forward and get some more specifics from the state as to how they see this transfer happening and what it might cost.
I think it's a good move. You gotta have the authority to even talk to them. You can see what's potentially needed there. If they're even missing.
I think it's a great idea.
Well, you probably have all been in there. I had not been in there until recently, and I had no idea how big it is. And I think Bill probably could really make something out of that building by renting it out and doing different things. And as well, we can probably figure out some ways that HSS might help pay for maintenance and ongoing costs. And so, yeah, I'm not going to say the word pickleball.
The roof looks decent. Didn't you say it was newer?
Bill, do you have some comments?
So Matt Schwartz, our building official, got up on a 30-foot ladder and looked at it, and he said it looks relatively new.
You have some comments on this, Bill?
Bill Pyre, fair manager. I just wanted to add in there that it would be very unfortunate to have a neighbor there that could potentially be an issue.
Not
Not compatible. For one thing, we have 12 RV spots that are currently spare RV spots that are in the parking lot of the Armory property. And that's just one little detail. The facility definitely would need some attention, but also there's a lot of potential there.
And there's also
I know there's some asbestos issues in it.
So well, this is just the walkthrough with the building official, but if there was anything that would be asbestos, he thought it might be the curtains that are in the ceiling, the baffling, and he didn't think they were. And could there be asbestos? Yes, of course, and we'd have to go down the whole process of this negotiation to see what we actually are dealing with. But generally, asbestos is more of a concern when you're modifying and changing things and stirring things up. And so
the only other thing I was going to add was if any of you have not been in the building, I do have the keys. The representative from the state left them with me, and let me know, and I'm happy to give you the keys, do a self tour, go over there with you.
Why buy it? We have the keys. We can squat it in the state of California. We don't need to buy it. We don't have to evict us, right?
I haven't been in that building since 1963.
she's in contact with me wanting to know where we're at. So they have a whole process if you give me authority to.
I think it's a great idea.
I think so too. What if somebody else buys it and then they're on our, we don't want that. Doesn't mean.
Any other comment?
Either.
Well, the county deeded that property to them years ago so that they could have that, the state of California could have that
Well, they should deed it back then.
property.
Well, it would have been nice if we had included language back then that said it will ultimately come back to us, and that would have saved us a lot.
Right.
Probably.
Can you remind them of that, Pat?
We adopt the
We'll see.
resolution.
Okay, I have a motion to adopt the resolution, and I have a second by Mr. Scanlon. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you, Lloyd. Okay. Information for the board.
I have none.
Okay, then we'll take a 5-minute break and we'll go back into close.
Andrew, did you want to announce close now, or do we want to come back into
Why
open?
don't we go ahead and announce closed now so we can come straight into closed session?
Okay.
Great. So, Chair, the remainder of the closed session agenda will be what we'll be going into, and that would be a performance evaluation of county administrative officer and closed session regarding real property negotiations for the Susanville Arm.
Thank you.